Well, benvenuto nel mio canale. Welcome to my channel. I'm just trying out this Italian and German in case I get to Europe again. Canto 6 of my memorial to my wonderful wife, Gabrielle. I'm going to read 3 poems. I've called this canto Stunned Silence because the poems refer to the period right after Gabrielle died. Which was entirely different than any other part of this grieving process, either the process preceding it, watching Gabrielle die, which was full of horror and anxiety and fear, and the part, say, from 6 months after she died, when emotion, some kind of feeling of being alive returns to you. Not always welcomely, but it does return to you. Eventually, you're welcome to have it back. But the first 6 months, you're in a kind of state of complete devastation and emptiness. Things just pour into you, and it doesn't seem like there's any future. It doesn't even seem like you're alive in a way. So I'll read a poem to start with, make a few comments, read a second poem, and then read a third poem and stop talking. Here's the first poem. It's called Comfort. I wrote it on July 27th, 2021, 5 months after Gabrielle died. In the first month following your death, I was sent quite a few comforting poems. That brought me no comfort. The sending did, but the words seemed like strange hieroglyphics with cockroaches scurrying over them in a frenzy of repression. What comforted me was rereading Hemingway. His short stories of war, where soldiers, long numb to the killing they were doing or having done to them, wandered with burst eardrums in a fetid landscape and through a chink in the author's armor-plated words. You could witness the unredeemed about to go insane. A lot of the things people said to me in the first few months weren't really helpful, and the comforting poems weren't helpful. They seemed like cruel jokes. So I think that raises an interesting question about what to say to someone who's lost someone very close to them, a child, a partner, perhaps parents. And I didn't find any kind of hopefulness or suggestion that there were things to be grateful for helpful at all. What I found most helpful was people who'd said things like, "This is horrible," or "I feel terrible for you," or "I wish this hadn't happened." A lot of people said things like, "I can't imagine what you're going through." That wasn't quite as helpful. Sometimes I'd have a sarcastic reaction to that. I'd want to say, "Well, try." I didn't say that because, of course, I knew people were doing their best to be, to show their empathy, their sympathy. But I think the idea of comfort is wrapped up with the idea of attunement, and trying to kind of push the person into some state they're not in isn't really helpful. It's better to be attuned to the state they are in. So here's the second poem. This poem had some strange responses to people, and I think it's because it reverses the imagery is a kind of shocking reversal of the usual state of affairs. I call it Got a New Lover. I wrote it on August 1st, 2021. I've been sleeping with grief. She keeps me up because I can't cool her down. News comes from afar, scratchy voice on the line. It's 3 a.m. and I'm standing naked, taking it in. Grief wriggles and squirms alive in my bed, yelling, "What? What is it?" If I were a dog, I'd be grinding grief's leg. Kinky, I know, but I'm not letting go. I'm hog-tied and trussed in black sun every night. My friends all drift by saying, "What can we do?" I'm wrung out and dry. The rain's in a pout. This desert's so vast. My feet are so sore. Grief's itching for more. And the last poem I want to read arose out of a dream that Gabrielle visited me in. And in the dream, she just came in the room and said to me, I should love other people the way I loved her. And then she turned on her heel and left without commentary. It was over almost before it started, but it stuck with me, and I wrote this poem on September 6th. It's called Conclave. Gabby, I'm going to talk your proposal over with that middle-aged guy who shows up every morning and strides straight into the study while I'm writing. You know, the one who doesn't look, but dresses like Leonard Cohen, shabby Armani, a hint of futility shedding from his shoulders. He's here right now facing me and pulls from his suit pocket a great big handgun and asks if I'm ready. I say, why don't you decide? Don't worry, one day I will. For now, I'm hearing from you. Okay then, yeah, I'm ready. Are you sure? Yeah, I'm sure. I'm completely sure. Then he sits down, puts the gun on my desk and says, I'm listening. I say, my wife came in a dream and said I should love others as I love her. So at 72, you want to audition for sainthood? Hardly. What are the chances? Not good, I know. You're vain, you're greedy on the inside, you like fucking far too much. I think I'm improving. I think you're making my point. And he gets up, pockets his gun, and leaves with a cheerful "Ci vendiamo." I yell after him, I really enjoy these talks of ours. Bye for now.